Children have been vaccinated for polio since the mid-50s. Before then, there were thousands and thousands of people afflicted with polio. Merrill Nelson from Albert Lea was one of those people. Merrill had been a farmer, but by 1956, farming had become too difficult for him. So, Merrill opened a popcorn stand. Even though Merrill passed away in 1983, Merrill's popcorn stand still remains to cater to its many happy customers.
He really was an Albert Lea gem. I mean, he was iconic in Albert Lea, and he was in a wheelchair.
I had popcorn for breakfast.
What else?
What else? I have it every morning here. It's my daily diet.
Thank you, ma'am. You have fun. See you later.
My grandpa got polio when polio was going around back in the day. He was paralyzed from the waist down, and he farmed for 5 years. My grandmother would carry him out on the tractor, but it got to be too much with the cows, the chickens, all that kind of stuff, and she had 3 small children, plus my great-grandmother to take care of it. It was just too much. I think they started the popcorn stand in 1956. They left the farm, they moved to Albert Lea. He opened up the popcorn stand in an old camper. It was a round camper. He was parked right next to Walgreens for years. Then he moved to Clark Street, Clark and Broadway. Right now it's the Visitors Bureau. They opened it up to the Visitors Bureau, but it used to be just a little popcorn stand that he could roll in, and he would have a little sliding glass door that he would sell popcorn out of.
Merrill was my grandfather. We called him Grandpa Merrill. And oftentimes when the subject of Merrill's popcorn came up, it was always such a proud moment for me to say, hey, that's my grandpa. I'm so grateful that my grandpa allowed his grandchildren to take turns and to work each summer at the county fair at his popcorn stand. It was a great learning experience for us. It taught us how to interact with people, how to make change. Also gave us some extra spending money for the new school year, so it was a wonderful learning experience for us.
Well, I came to Albert Lea in 1973, and I worked just a couple of doors down. I just have so many fond memories of being in that area with him. We would sit there and we would have this great view, and he would tell me stories or who had passed by. He was just the gentlest, kindest, just the nicest man. I'm so glad way back then in the early 70s that I really got to know him and spend time with him. Many times the high school, because it was just down the street from here, high school kids would come by and they would look at him and they would want to buy popcorn, but sometimes they didn't have quite enough money. He really trusted those students that came by because he would give them boxes of popcorn, and often I heard him say, you can just pay me whenever you can. So he trusted the students and the students trusted him.
Well, I had a guy here a couple years, was it last year I think, that laid a dime on my counter, and I was like, well, what is that for? He goes, I owed it to your grandpa because I never got to pay him. So that was his dime for his popcorn that he gave the kid, you know. And I give away popcorn all the time too. It's kind of a tradition. We're not going to let somebody go hungry without their popcorn. Grandpa was a great listener. Kids would come up to him and they would sit in the popcorn stand and tell all their problems. And they said that he was kind of like their savior. He would advise them. He wouldn't tell them what to do, but he would just talk to them and listen to them, and they said it made a world of difference. I have a lot of friends that come and talk to me. I'm trying to do what Grandpa did. I don't know if I'm any good at it. He was the best.
I'm actually from Clark's Grove, and I would walk down the street and I would always see Merrill down there. So I knew him. So when I came here to buy his popcorn, he would always say, oh, you're my Clark's Grove girl. And I would go, yes, Merrill, I'm your Clark's Grove girl. And then he would always take his box and he would put half the popcorn in there Then he would put a whole bunch of butter, and then he would finish off the top, and we would get some more butter.
Merrill's popcorn stand, the best place to go. Had the best popcorn ever. The caramel corn was out of this world. He always had a smile on his face, always had a joke or other story to tell us. He was just the most friendliest guy. And he's missed, that's for sure.